Hello student. Today we will discuss about soil. As we know, what is soil? It's a fertile surface layer of the earth that is capable to support biota. This one is known as soil. Or you can say it's upper layer of earth, upper or topmost layer of earth crust that supports life is called as. It's a fertile surface layer. Study of soil is known as pedology, and the formation of soil, this is called as pedogenesis. Soil acts as the natural resource, that is exactly inexhaustible natural resource that comes in our lithosphere. But how this lithosphere transforms into the fertile surface layer, this process is called as weathering. Weathering of soil is done by various physical and chemical factors. Along with that, biota is also involved in the weathering process. In the weathering process, you can define it like this. It's a process in which various physical, chemical, biological factors apply a specific force to form soil. Now, we will discuss about the factors responsible for soil formation. This process is done by three factors: physical factor, chemical factors, and biological factors. Mainly the physical force is responsible for the degradation of rock particles into soil grains. It's sunlight, water in the means of rainfall or river water, wind. In the way of chemical factors, acid produced by biota, minerals which make the soil fertile. Just like that, in the case of biological factor, plants, animals, these are involved. Microbes and their interaction. Now we will discuss about formation of soil. How all these factors are involved in the formation of soil or in weathering process. Let us discuss about. As I told you earlier, the physical factor provide the main force to form soil. Here the first factor is sunlight. Sunlight contains the heat energy that is responsible for the expansion of rock particles, as well as when the night occur, or I can say at the time of night, the rocks cool down and contract. So because of this unequal expansion and contraction of rock, because of day and night duration, this one occur in day time and this one occur at night. Because of this unequal contraction and expansion, there will be cracks in rock, and that's why the rock will degrade into the small pieces. Along with this degradation, water is also responsible for the cracking of rocks, that can responsible as the rainfall there. Due to the continuous movement of rain and fast flowing river water, rock pieces collide and break down into the fine particles. Now these rock particles can further degrade into fine particles with the help of rainfall or flow of river water. These cracked rock will further break down. Cracking rock will further break down into the fine particles. Now friction can be applied on these fine particles, and the third factor that is responsible for this is wind. As we know, when air blows with high velocity, then it is known as wind, and that wind has abrasive effect on rocks. The finer rock particles are blown away and get deposited to other side, or whenever they move along with wind, friction is applied on that, and that's why these finer particle can convert it into the finest particle. These finer particles, I can write it like this, blown away with wind, and two things can be done. Either these are displaced to distant places, or these are converted into the finest particles, finest soil particles by friction. Now, along with these physical factors, some biological and chemical factors are also responsible for the formation of soil. Let us talk about the biological and chemical factors. For this weathering process, the first organism that is responsible is known as lichen. Lichen can grow on barren rocks, and they produce a specific acid that is called as humic acid, which is responsible for the corrosion of rock. They will corrode the rock surface, and because of that, the rock will break down into the small and fine particles. Now these fine particles can absorb moisture, and because of moisture or water content, mosses can grow on that, which is further degrade them into soil. Now one more thing, this humic acid is a chemical factor which is released by a living being. So this effect simultaneously biological and chemical factor. Along with that, if the rock particles are mineral rich, then the soil is fertile. Simultaneously, after the formation of lichens or after the colonize of lichen, there will be next colony of mosses, which will further replaced by algae, later on by other kind of plants, the higher plants like pteridophyta. Next one can be a gymnosperm or directly maybe an angiosperm. By this kind of process, the previous one will replace by the next one, and the previous material, the previous organic material or previous plants will form the organic material in the soil, that is humus. They form organic matter in the soil, that is known as humus. And these all the factors are responsible to make soil fertile. So this is over about the soil and its formation. Now the next step, although the soil has been formed, but along with the mineral and organic matter, soil air, soil water are also responsible to make soil fertile. So I can say the plants which are growing on this forming soil, they form root, and root penetrate the soil layer. This penetration can be proceed up to rock level, and this one is responsible to form cervices in the soil. These cervix are basically the fine slit-like structure. These are responsible for cracking of rock. Just like the plants, animals are also responsible. The animals, microbes which are living in the soil, uh, they they will respire there and provide soil air. Just like that, they will form the burrow there, and there will be a specific space to keep this air there. And these make the soil, and various other kind of activity of animals, they make the soil porous. And these pores are responsible to contain soil as well as the water that is swept out in the soil that can be retained there. So all these factors are basically responsible for the soil formation, and the main thing is they make soil fertile. In our next class, we will discuss about the composition of soil, what are the main minerals, soil, water, and other material are found in the soil, and soil profile. Thank you everyone.